ready. See if that's a good one or not. All right. See if you like my question here. All right. So this one I thought was a good one. I came up with this one. I looked on a list. Would you rather have a horrible job, but only have to work for 10 years and be able to retire? Or have your dream job, you love it, but you have to work all the way till the day you die?
That's hard.
A good would you rather question is a hard one where it's like, oh man, I think this
I
is a
would
good one.
say horrible job, because then I'd get used to it, and then after at least 10 years, I'll be able to live the rest of my life by myself
Yeah,
without doing.
then you wouldn't have to bother with it. Doesn't necessarily
Yeah,
mean you would just have to sit around and do nothing, but then you could
I
do
know
what
I'm
you.
gonna have to find another job soon, but I at least get away from the horrible job.
Yeah. I think the idea would be that you were making enough money that you would not have to have another job.
True.
So I think I don't know. I probably would have to. I probably would
I
take the
lost my
first one.
tooth.
Not like I would sit around the rest of my life, but that I would at least, I could go do things that I feel like are useful and important.
I lost my tooth on Monday.
Probably also depends on how many days a week I have to work the job, right? In terms of working till the day you die. Like I enjoy working. I don't think it's bad to work is not bad. I think that's one of the things that
But working until the day you die is just because now you can't even enjoy the weekend.
well, no. I think the idea would be that you would be, you know, working like a regular job in the sense that you would get weekend like you get weekend off and vacation or something.
And
So
holidays.
yeah, right. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
so then I'm changing my answer. Probably my dream job.
Yeah. I think that if I enjoyed what I was doing, I would probably rather like if I found it meaningful and fulfilling, I would rather work
But
because
not being able to retire though makes me think about it.
I mean, but what is retirement anyway? Like when I don't know. I in the sense of like I don't know, at least in I guess my religious worldview that the idea of retiring and sitting around and doing nothing, I don't really think that's the thing. I don't think that makes sense. So anyway, all right. So we're going to talk today about some test taking skills. Again, remembering that I added this in. That was my adding.
Do
Um,
we have that big test is
big test.
the one that we took at the beginning of the year, the I can't remember the name, but
Like the map test?
yeah.
Yeah, we do have to do one more map test, and then we have
Oh my
SC ready. Yeah, that's the thing now where I think all schools in the state have to do. There's like
god.
several different
One
ones they
of
can
the
do,
days.
but they have to do it. I think 3 times a year.
When's map testing?
But
When's map testing?
when sometime late in I don't know, sometime in March, late is the last one, and then we have SC ready in the beginning of May. Sometime I don't know exactly. It's either first or
Isn't
second
March
week of May.
starting Friday?
Do it.
March starts Friday.
It does. It does. It does. All right. So we're looking at test taking skills. All right. So test is, assessment, whatever, right? Um, so test preparation. So you provide a thorough review of material, leads to you being better prepared and confident, and builds a sense of pride and accomplishment. So
I'll be back.
before you go to take a test of any type, you need to know your learning style and study accordingly. Meaning, if you know that the way that you have been doing to prepare for a test is not going well, then you need to change it up. All right. Manage your time by mapping out when to study on a calendar. All right. So having some way, we've talked about that in homeroom, right? That you have it organized with, okay, I got to do this, this, and this. And then make sure that the environment you're doing your work and your study is organized and not messy, not distracting, so that you can accomplish what you need to accomplish. and then set yourself goals in terms of I want to do this well on this, and then you know looking at your motivation both short and long term, right? Like, okay, I want to do well on this because I'll feel good about it now, but then also because, okay, I want to master these skills for the next, years of school and stuff like that too. So all of those things, thinking through those help you to know, okay, I'm gonna get prepared. Now, when you're during a test, you want to, if you start thinking like negative, like I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna fail, that's not usually the best method of going about it. All right. Just relax, take deep breaths. Okay, it's gonna be all right. We'll remember it. Um, Read the directions very carefully to make sure that you are actually addressing what the question is asking. Um, and then, when you're looking at it here, like review your answers before you're done, going back and saying, okay, did I actually answer the question here? Did I do what I was supposed to do? Did this answer I put down, does it make sense on this question? Right? Ask questions if you're confused, and then also take your time but pace yourself. So one of the things, for example, when you take the SC Ready, say math, right? If you get stuck on one question for like an hour, then you are so burned out with that one question that you rush through some easier ones that you could have gotten, right? And so, just kind of keeping a pace with it, like, you know what, I'm just going to mark this one and come back to it because I'm stuck on that one, right? Um, and then see, sometimes there can be things in one question that can help you in another question. And so, just looking for those things that are kind of context clues. All right. I don't know what the time for a quiz is here. Oh yeah, I remember doing this one. Do you remember the trick on this one right here?
Yeah, where you have to read the instructions first,
Yep.
and then it only tells you to do one, two, three, four, and how many ever questions, and you didn't even have to do the rest.
Right. And then so right here,
Yes, only answer one, two, three,
you
and
you
then
don't have to answer three
you do
through
not have to
16.
do one through 16.
Right. So that one's a good little, that's a classic like question, trick
Yeah, because I
thingy.
remember we did that at the beginning of the year with Miss Coleman. I was like, oh, geez.
Mm-hmm.
Because I
Right.
did 15 questions out of 16, and then I went back down. I was like,
Yeah. Uh, so I think the idea is, hey, let's make sure we're actually paying attention to what the questions ask so we don't do unnecessary work or work that's off track. Stay
and
focused
listen,
on,
some people didn't even listen to number two and just started doing stuff.
yeah, right. So, I think of math and like word problems is one thing I think of with this, right? Another one is
Yeah.
like when you're in ELA or really in social studies, the way y'all do social studies here, um, it's like you're answering this question, you put this answer that's really great, but it's not answering the question that was asked, right? And I've even had run into that some with like career clusters when I'm grading that class where it's like, I mean, that's a good answer for a different question, but not for this question. And so just recognizing that, okay, I got to make sure that what I'm doing here is addressing what I think it is addressing. All right. So that's kind of the big key there. Um, so multiple choice, this one I think is important. Read the question without looking at the answer choices first if you already have an idea, right? So the idea is that most of the times, if teachers write their multiple choice questions well, then they're going to write some things in there that might throw you off. So you're better off looking through it and seeing if you have an idea of what the answer should look like first, then look at the answer choices. Like at math, you should work out the problem first, then look at the answers. Okay. Look for keywords in the question. Obviously, different subjects, those are different words, right? And then if you got answers that really mean the same thing, then that shouldn't be it unless it's a badly written question, right? Now, this last one I think is important. That where if you aren't sure, then you should go with the first one you thought was right. Okay. Second guessing yourself. Now, if you are looking back at it, you're reviewing it, and you're like, oh, I missed that. It's definitely not that. It's this other one. Okay, so if you realize you're wrong and you're like, oh, it's definitely not this one, it's definitely the other one, then yeah, then change it. But if you're like, I don't know, is it this one, is it this one? Usually your first instinct was the right one on that kind of situation. Y'all ever run into that kind of thing? I know
Absolutely.
I mean it's one that
I've done it way too many times.
right. Yeah. So I would say that one is
There was
like
science I was doing, and I got like unlimited chances. And on my second try, I got a 90 because I was second guessing myself on question 8. It asked me a certain question. I was like, wait, I picked this last time and I got it wrong.
right.
I was thinking I got it wrong, and then so I picked the other one. I was like, wait, I don't think that's right. So I just kept second guessing myself and ended up choosing the one that I thought was the wrong, that I thought was the right answer, which is wrong. I was like, I feel stupid.
So I would say that keep that as kind of that is sort of a rule, right? Like, okay, I'm looking back at it. Wait, maybe it's this one, maybe it's this one. Okay. I'm gonna always, in that case, if I'm not sure and I'm like 50-50, go with the first one, okay, that you decided. All right. Then after a test, you're like, okay. And one of the things too that I'm really big on, you know, that I know I talked to Chloe about is, between, let's say you got it's like Friday and you got I don't know what you have this Friday, but let's say you have something for Miss Coleman, Mr. Madavi, and me. Okay. Then after you've done one of them, you know what? You need to take a break for a few minutes, right? Like this is not exactly about test taking per se, but like if you have multiple assignments you got to do that are kind of, challenging, then you want to take breaks between. Yeah, Leah.
Um, so you know how you just said Friday?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've shared this with you yet, but last year my dad was um couldn't pick me up for the summer. One, because he was too far away, didn't want to drive back and forth to come pick me up and then drop me back off. And two, he had two jobs, so that quite made me sad. And on Monday, my mom told me to get dressed, and I was like, "Why?" She said, "Just get dressed." And I was like, "Mm." So we rode in the car all the way to. This was like 15 minutes out of our house. Um, and we drove somewhere called Tanglewood Apartments.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Mom, why we are here? Why are we here?" She just said, "All right, go upstairs to house 8." But everybody walked up there. Me, my little sister, my stepdad, and my mom, and then yeah, me. So we walked upstairs, and the door was unlocked. So I just opened the door, and guess who I see standing there?
Your dad?
Yes, he's living in Colombia now, and I'm so happy.
Well, that's
And he's coming
so
to pick me up this weekend as long as I get all my work done, which I've been getting all my work done. So
yeah. So you're gonna be so he's a lot closer then.
yeah, he's 15 minutes away.
That's nice. How far away was he before?
An hour and 30 minutes.
Oh
In
yeah, I
Charlotte.
remember. I feel like you told me that in the fall that it was like the time
Yeah,
you
but
had to
his
go see
dad
him
lives
was
an
like,
hour and 30 minutes away, and now he's
yeah, it was
not.
a lot further away
He's
from you. That's
15.
exciting. So you get to go see him a good bit. Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and he's gonna pick me up this summer too.
Nice.
I mean, it's
Nice.
only 15
Nice.
minutes away from my house, so then I won't feel homesick. But you
Right.
know, yeah.
Right. Be easier to go back and forth sometimes, right? Like where even you can go over just for the
But
day
not
or
between
something.
1 hour and 30 minutes. It's just,
Right. Yeah, with it being that close, that's something where it's like if he got something he wants you to do with him for a day, you can go over for the day and then come back.
over the day, yeah. And then
Right.
my mom comes to pick me back up, and then boom, I'm
Yeah,
home.
right. Yeah, that's fun because that way you can do. I think that makes it a little easier to keep a good relationship as opposed to just a every now and then relationship, right? Where it's like you see him more often, right? It's kind of like
Yeah.
what it's different, but one of I wanted my parents, because I'm from Georgia, and so my parents live like
Georgia's far from here.
well, no, not from where I live at.
Uh,
We live like 45 minutes from Georgia, where we are. Um, but it was something where, you know, they lived like an hour away. So I was like, you guys need to move over here so you can see us and see your grandkids more often because I'm an only child. And so they moved over here.
I
So
used to
now,
be an only child until I got a little sister, which I'm not mad about.
so like,
But it
so
was
that's
kind of
where like
fun.
sometimes, Chloe and Jasmine, they'll go over to their grandma's house, like my parents' house in the afternoon.
They walked there.
No, no, it's too far to walk, but it's like 3 miles from here. So now, and it's like 9 or 10 minutes. So they just come by and pick them up, and they'll go over there for a couple hours. My mom teaches them how to play the piano and stuff like that. So that's much more
That's
convenient.
that's why Chloe said she had piano lessons the other day.
Yeah. So yeah, my mom is played
A
piano
pianist.
in our church all the time growing up for me. Like, and so she's teaching all three of my younger kids how to play. Um, so that's kind of their music class being homeschooled really is um, that. Obviously, we have the ones we have to do online, but that's what she mainly does for music class. Anyway, so if you did miss some stuff, then figure out why you missed it. Right, go ask for help going over it, and then stay positive and learn from your mistakes, and then figure out what am I going to do better next time. All right. So any last thing here, anything where it's like, okay, this is a test taking skill I figured out that works well. Got anything that you noticed?
Nope.
Nothing to add. All right.
Well, maybe taking breaks in between the tests and pause your test
Yeah,
just to restart your mind and make sure you
right.
not getting too frustrated and stuff.
Right. Making sure that you don't keep just doing and doing and doing without taking breaks is that it is actually proven that we do better when we take short breaks instead of just kind of doing like all the time. So yeah, breaks are important. All right. Well, I'll see y'all at 10 o'clock. Adios.
Adios.